Bevor ich einmal in das neue Spiel reingehe, würde ich gerne in das Sammelalbum
Hey, wanna
reinschauen,
see my Mighty Pirate scrapbook? It's filled with my adventures.
weil man da scheinbar Guywood Three Brush
Ever since I
seine
was a
Geschichte
kid,
lesen
I
kann.
wanted to be a mighty pirate.
Okay. Guybrush, Mighty Pirate. Erzähl
That's
mir mehr.
me, Guybrush Threepwood.
Okay.
In the old days, you became a pirate by completing 3 trials to prove your worth.
Was musste man denn machen?
Treasure hunting is important for any pirate. Mastering sword fighting was more a matter of wits than agility. The test of thievery involved breaking into the governor's mansion. The security was heavy. The pirate leaders were in charge of the 3 trials, acting as judge, jury, executioner, and devoted grog tasters.
Devoted Grog Tasters.
Mastering sword fighting was more a matter of wits than agility.
Die Hunde sehen ja süß aus, auf jeden Fall, ne?
This is when I met Elaine, the love of my life. She was governor at the time.
Ach so, er bricht in das Haus von der Gouverneurin ein, weil er da was klauen soll und hat dann die Liebe seines Lebens gefunden.
Things took an unexpected turn while I was working on the 3 trials. I scraped together a crew. Carla, Otis, and Meathook joined me on my voyage to Monkey Island to save Elaine. I scraped together a crew. Carla, Otis, and Meathook joined me on my voyage to Monkey Island to save Elaine.
Meathook? Ah, der hat 2 Krallen. Und Carla, haben wir gerade genießen. Nee, ist jetzt alles nass, das ist voll eklig. Huch. Kann ich das irgendwie abwischen oder so? Ich habe doch eben gerade hier gefrühstückt. Ja noch. Ich ein Tuch. So, erzähl mir mehr.
Elaine was kidnapped and taken to Monkey Island by the nefarious ghost pirate LeChuck.
Kann das überhaupt nicht lesen. 0.
Elaine was kidnapped and taken to Monkey Island by the nefarious ghost pirate LeChuck.
Das ist
LeChuck
der, ne?
thought he was in love with Elaine. My first ship was the Sea Monkey. I bought it at Stan's used ships with a letter of credit that I, sort of falsified. My first ship was the Sea Monkey.
Okay,
I bought it at
das
Stan's
ist die
used
Geschichte,
ships
die er gerade
with a letter
erzählt.
of credit that I, sort of falsified. Monkey Island was a steaming volcanic mystery, covered with jungle and not found on any map. On the island was a gigantic monkey head statue with hidden catacombs underneath. There were some people living there who claimed to be cannibals, but I think it was just a show for the tourists. The monkey head opened with a special key that you stuck in its ear.
Hi.
I met an old castaway there, Herman Toothrot. He and the locals wrote a lot of indignant letters to each other. LeChuck's ghostly ship was anchored in a lake of lava hidden beneath the island's surface. We wound up back on Melee Island for the stunning conclusion to my first big adventure. I made it to the church just in time to stop the wedding. Or so I thought.
Deswegen hat er wahrscheinlich einen Groll gegen Guybrush.
It turned out Elaine already had everything under control. How does she do that? By then, I had learned that ghosts like LeChuck are vulnerable to root beer. Just trust me, it works, okay? I defeated LeChuck, and he basically exploded. It was the beginning of something magical. These are from the time I went to find the treasure of Big Whoop.
Ach, war gerade Spiel 1. Und jetzt ist Spiel 2 Big Whoop.
I met my good friend Wally, who makes maps, and I stole his monocle. Good times. The map to the treasure had been torn into 4 pieces, which, let's face it, is about as piratey as it gets. Elaine always seems to know when I need her. The mysterious voodoo lady at the International House of Mojo taught me to make a voodoo doll, which came in handy more than once. Again, it came down to just me and LeChuck at the end. He was using magic, but then, so was I. One time, Elaine got turned into a statue. Well, LeChuck was behind it, of course. That guy never gives up. The fact that he turned her into a statue tells me LeChuck doesn't really love Elaine. He thinks of her as furniture.
Oh Gott. Das ist... Ja, nee.
It was around this time that I met Murray, the allegedly all-powerful demonic skull, after a rousing sea battle. I erupted a volcano on purpose. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for Elaine. I got buried alive. Things backfired on LeChuck because Elaine and I got married when it was all over. Game, set, matchmaker. This was a great day. Though in retrospect, we shouldn't have had the scum bar handle the catering. Elaine and me together forever. The daggers are symbolic of cutting through troubles, I think. Oh man, this was that crazy time LeChuck teamed up with an Australian billionaire and tried to use a mystical talisman to make Elaine his bride.
Alter, wie viele Geschichten davon gibt es denn? Ich dachte, das wäre jetzt... Oh Gott. Einfach den Stress vermeiden, hat Doktore gesagt, dann wird es wieder.
The ultimate insult wasn't really ultimate, or even an insult at all. Or was it? LeChuck and I battled it out on a grand scale that time. I made a goofy monster out of prosthetic body parts.
Einfach am Lotto gewinnen, dann muss man nicht mehr arbeiten. Dann hat man auch keinen Stress. Das ist mein Plan. Mein ultimativer Plan.
Everything started because they thought Elaine was dead, so they held an election to replace her. Then there was the time I accidentally let loose LeChuck's pox over the entire Caribbean. Or so it seemed.
LeChuck's Pocken.
I had to wear a hook for a while. It came in handy. The death card doesn't usually represent literal physical death. Except when it does. Morgan Le Fay betrayed me, even after we bonded inside a giant manatee. I should have trusted her less.
Ja, ich sag dir, was soll man sonst machen, ne?
Elaine wasn't fooled by LeChuck's human form any more than I was. I should have trusted her more. Love did win out in the end.
Schaut euch mal hier diese wunderschönen Einhörner an. Das ist so in etwa die Qualität des Malens, die ich an den Tag legen kann. Sieht aus wie so ein Socken mit einem Strich oben dran.
I went on trial for my life on 4 separate charges. I defended myself, of course. Oh, here's that voodoo doll from the end of my Big Whoop adventure. I defeated LeChuck with this. His leg came off as easy as tearing a loaf of bread.
Oh, das ist ja richtig übel. Hat LeChuck dann auch sein Bein verloren? Mehr Papier für den Rest meiner Abenteuer besorgen. Okay. Sehr schön. Jetzt wissen wir zumindest, was in den ersten beiden 3 Teilen passiert ist. Und jetzt können wir fortsetzen.